How much will 100,000 RSR be worth by 2025? In today's video, I want to take a deeper dive on that and explain several reasons why I believe 100,000 RSR could potentially be worth a lot in the next 2 years. And by the way, before I get started, I first want to mention how this video is not meant as an invitation to buy, sell, or trade RSR. That is not the case whatsoever. It is just my opinion only, and I am not a financial advisor. However, with all that being said, I first want to explain how at the time of this recording, 100,000 RSR is currently worth $450. And with that in mind, if anyone out there right here, right now owns 100,000 RSR and during the next bull run, RSR were to just reach the price of 12 cents, which is its all-time high price, if RSR were to do that and anyone out there owns 100,000 RSR, they would have managed to turn their $450 investment into a staggering $12,000. I mean, that's over $10,000 in profit right there. And that is just RSR, again, right, going back to its all-time high price. I think RSR is so undervalued, and I think the room it has to grow is so insane. And personally speaking, I think 12 cents for RSR, I think it's a pretty easy target for RSR to reach during the next bull run. And I'll explain why. First of all, if you think about it, RSR back at 12 cents, when RSR had that insane rally, at that point, RSR was nowhere near as fundamentally good as it is right here, right now. As of right now, its fundamentals are the best it's ever been doing. Think about this. Back in 2021, there was no such thing as an R token even being available. There was no such thing as RSR staking even being available as well. And also on top of that, RPay, the reserve app, was not available yet across 18 different countries in Latin America. All of that wasn't a reality back then, but it is right here, right now. In my opinion, RSR in terms of fundamentals currently is doing the best it's ever been doing. So if RSR could reach 12 cents despite its fundamentals not being as good as right now, I think that it's fair to assume that during the next bull run, 12 cents really is going to be a very easy target for RSR to reach. I think RSR is going to easily smash through its all-time high price and just go way higher than that. And now, if we take a look at RSR at the price of 25 cents, do I think RSR could reach this during the next bull run? Yes, I do, and I'll show you the reasons why I think so. First of all, as of right now, as we all know, Mobile Coin just recently released their very own R token called EUSD. That's available right now, and RSR holders can then stake their RSR on EUSD and as a result receive yield. However, I think this is just the beginning for the reserve protocol. Mobile Coin building their own R token, that's very massive, but I think this is just the start. In the next 2 years, I believe that there is going to be more and more R tokens available. I think as time goes on, there's going to be more and more people wanting to build R tokens. And naturally, as that starts happening, I believe that there's going to be more and more people that will be attracted to RSR. Because just imagine this, right? As there are more R tokens available, it's going to give a greater option for RSR holders to actually choose which R tokens they want to stake their RSR on. Because keep in mind, right, RSR holders, they can choose which R token they actually want to stake it on. As there's 10 R tokens available, as there's 15 and so on, as that starts increasing, at that moment, there's going to be so many R tokens actually offering yield, essentially passive income for RSR holders to actually stake their RSR. When that starts to happen, I think why wouldn't people at that point start being attracted to RSR? Because just think about this, right? Again, like I mentioned before, if there's so many R tokens available and they're all offering yield, aka passive income, the way I take a look at it, why wouldn't then people at that point be attracted to RSR? I believe that as more and more R tokens are available, a lot more people are going to be inclined to actually start accumulating RSR. And naturally, of course, at that point, the buying pressure, the buying volume, that's all going to slowly but surely start increasing. And that, of course, is going to be good for the price of RSR. I believe that the reserve protocol has so much room to grow, and I also believe that RSR has a lot of room to grow as well. And I think that over the next 2 years, it's just going to keep getting better and better. When I consider the trajectory of RSR moving forward, and when I consider the rate in which the reserve protocol is growing in terms of its fundamentals, I really do believe that 25 cents for RSR is a very realistic price target for the next bull run. And now, when it comes to RSR at the price of 50 cents, do I believe RSR could reach this during the next bull run? And my response to that is maybe. And I'll actually explain why I say the word maybe. And I want to start off by explaining how, yes, it is true, RSR staking is available. There is an R token available as of right now. But if you think about it, RSR still has no link yet to the reserve app RPay. And some people, they may be wondering, oh, what do I mean by RSR being linked to RPay? What I mean by that is having an R token that is available on the reserve app RPay and being able to stake RSR on that R token. That is what I mean by linking RSR to RPay. It's essentially having a connection for RSR to RPay. But again, right, as of right now, that all doesn't exist yet. But I think that in order for RSR to reach 50 cents in price, it is very crucial, and I believe that it's very imperative that RSR before the next bull run actually gets connected to RPay. Because if that doesn't happen, in my opinion, I don't think RSR can reach 50 cents in price. However, on the contrary, if it does become connected to RPay before the next bull run, I do think at that point it can reach 50 cents in price. I do believe that is a very clear possibility for RSR to reach if, again, right, it does become linked to RPay before the next bull run. And some people, they may be wondering, why is RSR being linked to RPay so important? What's the big deal about this app? And the reason why this app is a very big deal is because when you take a look at RPay, what is it trying to solve? It is trying to help people protect their savings against devaluation/inflation. And by the way, RPay, it's not some sort of app that's in development, it's not some sort of concept app. That is not the case whatsoever. RPay, as of right now, is currently up and running. It's live. In fact, as of right now, it's available across 18 different countries, and it's serving over 500,000 customers. And what's even more insane is that as of right now, RPay has already managed to have around $5.9 billion in transaction volume. I mean, that's crazy. And yeah, you heard that right. It's billion with a B. That is how big RPay is. I mean, it's insane to just think about how massive it is. So again, right, I believe that it's very crucial for RSR to be linked to RPay before the next bull run in order for RSR to reach 50 cents. I personally believe that if RSR does become linked to RPay before the next bull run, I think that 50 cents will easily be reached by RSR. I truly do believe that. When I consider just how big RPay is, I really do think that it's going to allow for RSR to reach great heights during the next bull run if it does, again, right, become connected before the next bull run. And now I want to shift gears real quick and talk about RSR's inflation, because a lot of people, they like to overblow RSR's inflation. They're like, oh my goodness, RSR, it's going to suffer bad inflation. Oh man, it sucks. It's not good. A lot of people, they like to spew out this type of nonsense. But in reality, I actually don't think RSR's inflation is that bad whatsoever. In fact, I think it's very controlled, and I don't think it's as bad as what a lot of people make it out to be. And let me explain why. RSR has a fixed total supply of 100 billion tokens, out of which there are currently 45.6 billion in circulation. The remaining 54.4 billion RSR tokens are locked. And out of these 54.4 billion RSR tokens that are locked, 49.4 billion of it belongs to the slow wallet, and the remaining 5 billion belongs to seed investors, strategic partners, team members, and advisors. And you may be wondering, what is the slow wallet? And the slow wallet is a locked wallet controlled by the Reserve project used to fund our token adoption initiatives like listings, partnerships, marketing, etc. It's under the discretionary control of the Reserve team. However, it has a hard-coded 4-week delay after initiating each withdrawal transaction on the blockchain. Upon initiating a withdrawal transaction, the team announces the purpose of the withdrawal either through a public on-chain message or on social media. If RSR holders do not agree with the purpose of the withdrawal, they are able to sell their RSR in the 4-week period before the project is able to sell what they have withdrawn. The team can only access these withdrawn tokens after those 4 weeks. The locked tokens that are not part of the slow wallet, owned by seed investors, strategic partners, team members, and advisors, are currently progressively being unlocked through the option 2 unlocking. The tokens that were part of option 1 have fully been unlocked since July of 2022. And just to clarify this last statement, what it means is that basically the investors, strategic partners, and team members, they had a choice between 2 options as to how they wanted their RSR tokens to be unlocked. However, one out of the 2 options available has already been fully unlocked. And now with that being said, I'm going to talk about the second unlocking option, which is happening right here, right now. And when it comes to the second option, it says right here that on the day the mainnet launches, 10% of the holders' locked tokens will be unlocked at once, and the remaining 90% will be distributed linearly over the following 6 months. And as we all know, the mainnet launched back in October, so currently there's around 7 days left of token unlocking for these remaining 5 billion tokens. And by the way, most of these 5 billion tokens have already been unlocked. It's just that it's nearing the end of the unlocking period. So in 2 months, essentially, so in around 7 days, essentially, all of the remaining 5 billion tokens owned by these seed investors, strategic partners, and team members would have all been already fully unlocked. After these early investors and partners receive their 5 billion RSR tokens, the other RSR tokens yet to be released will be in the hands of the Reserve team. And now with that being said, do I think the tokenomics, more specifically the inflation when it comes to RSR, do I think that's bad? I do not, and let me explain why. First of all, right now, most of the remaining tokens are in the slow wallet, which, like I mentioned before, can't just be randomly dumped. That's not a possibility. Because again, right, it's controlled by the reserve team, and it's going to be released only under certain conditions. For example, if let's say they want to expand their partnerships, or if let's say they want to use it for marketing, there are many scenarios in which they might release more RSR tokens. However, those are just some examples. But again, right, if the reserve team wanted to release more RSR tokens, there is a 4-week period before these tokens can be unlocked. So basically, anytime the reserve team wants to unlock more tokens, they're going to have to wait 4 weeks before they can even get their hands on it. And also on top of that, like I mentioned before, the reserve team, they will be announcing these token unlocks beforehand. So it's not like they're going to be releasing it secretly. They're going to let people know beforehand. So I don't think those remaining tokens yet to be released will pose such a big problem in the long run, because the release is essentially going to be very slow. And those RSR tokens, they're not going to be released for no reason. It's going to be released for certain occasions that will actually improve the reserve protocol. So long story short, I don't think tokens being released in the long run is quite necessarily such a bad thing, because if the intended purpose for those token unlocks is to improve the project, I don't think that's a bad reason. So yeah, RSR is going to experience inflation to a certain degree, but it's not crazy inflation. And most of the tokens that are not in the slow wallet have already been released. Most of the RSR tokens that are not owned by the reserve team are mostly already out there in circulation. So moving forward, the inflation is not going to be that bad. And now I want to talk about people who like to complain about RSR's circulating supply. A lot of people, they have been complaining and saying that the circulating supply of RSR is too low right now. They say it can't reach its all-time high price again, let alone double its all-time high price. And they say that the reason for this is because RSR would need way too much volume for it to reach those price targets. However, I completely disagree with these people, and the reason is because if, let's say, hypothetically speaking, we were to double the circulating supply of RSR and make it 92%, and let's say with a 92% circulating supply, RSR were to reach the price of 24 cents, which is double its all-time high price. Let's say that is the scenario. At that point, RSR would only have a market cap of around $22 billion. And that right there is not too far-fetched in my opinion. We've seen Dogecoin go to $80+ billion in market cap. We've seen Shiba Inu go to $40+ billion. And again, right, that's nothing too crazy in my opinion. RSR doesn't need that much volume in order to reach those high prices. Even with a way higher circulating supply, RSR has no trouble reaching high prices, because the volume needed in order to do so is actually not that much. So long story short, I get why some people are concerned about the circulating supply. However, it's not as bad as some people think in my opinion. I am extremely bullish on the future of RSR. And if you want to check out a very interesting video, make sure to go ahead and click on this thumbnail right here. It's an amazing video, it's fantastic, and I think you all would really love it. It's been Lee the Captain. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.